right, welcome to the Attention Harlot Podcast.
Okay, you little harlot. I can't wait to hear more about this. How you got your title. We have not worked together, have we?
We never have. And it's so funny now with how we're all like glued to our phones and on the internet. I just know you from online, which is crazy, but that's our world now. That's our everything's online.
And I've stepped in on a few things that you've said, and I say, hey, what's up? I'm a very encouraging. My kids call me Opto for optimistic.
Nice.
I try to bring the optimism to the everything that I do. So I notice sometimes, you'll write something.
I mean, you've had a successful career. How could you not with your credits? And you got to be that way, right? To accomplish.
No, are you kidding me? There's a bunch of people out there that have lots of credits. As a matter of fact, I've even seen you write about it. There isn't that supportive of a community sometimes. I'd say the comedy community can be supportive.
Oh, man.
And it goes both ways. But
it does, doesn't it? Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I happen to have healed my wounds, so I'm here for others. That's
great.
Today's my birthday, and I decided to dedicate my birthday. Anybody wants to give me something to dedicate it to Laughter Heals, a foundation I came up with, and I'm going to give it over to Stanley Ullman, who used to open for me, and he can't work anymore, which is so sad about comedy. We give so much, but we don't have a union. We don't have a support system.
We need one, right? We need a union. I mean,
something. I think you wrote about that in the past.
I write about a lot of things. I'm glad you read it. Yeah, I love writing.
Somebody's reading it, Jennifer, even though we never met.
Nice. Well, good to know. I'm glad. And you won like 2 Emmys. I was like reading your bio. You've been on TV. You did a 90-minute special, which is really long. Datitude on Showtime. And then you were named comedian.
I don't like the way you said. I don't like the way you said it's really long.
It's 90 minutes is long. That's so long. And then comedian of the year at the American Comedy Awards. I didn't even know that was a thing. They had that, and
really? Are you that young? Okay.
I guess so. And then they just actually have Golden Globes now for us, for comedians. They're offering us, which is nice. That's a little more respect we're given in the industry, I think. So.
Exactly right, which bothers me about the lack of respect. You always have these actors. I remember one year when Chris Rock was hosting the Oscars, and he kept doing this little bit. He was trying this bit about Jude Law, who's popular. He goes, "Who's Jude Law? Who is Jude Law?" And then Sean Penn comes out with a fog machine. Jude Law's a fine actor. These actors, they think they're all that. They don't write like we do. They don't direct their own stuff. They have CGI, every single other thing. You don't even have a category at the Oscars.
So you were on Parks and Rec, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Did you work on Fuller House too?
Yes, I did. I wrote on Fuller House.
You wrote? Oh my God, that's so cool. Yeah, that's really, so you're in WGA.
Yeah, cool unless you do it. It's not easy being in those rooms. Because
David Arnold was my friend who passed away, who wrote on that show. That was so sad. We have comics dying so much too. It's like nuts.
Such a great guy. And that was sad. But I mean, to be in those writers' rooms is not easy though, especially when you're stand-up, because we have the luxury of, I can work anytime I want. And I had a deal with Fuller House. I would come back and they go, "Where were you?" And I said, "Oh, I was in Hawaii." Because I had a tan and everything. "And where were you?" "Oh, we were here in the room, 10 hours a day." So there's a lot of they kind of resent the stand-ups because they're just writers, the people in those rooms. They don't have another career. So they're fighting for the next year to be hired again.
Yeah, that's interesting.
There's a lot of one-upsmanship and stuff like that. So I'm just going, hey man, I just want a good time, put out a good script and have a fun time with the show. I actually used to replace the actors that were not cast yet. And I would be them in the table read until they cast them. So I did that, and the audience warm up when Ron couldn't make it. So that's kind of like a pinch hitter for that kind of stuff. It was fun in some ways, and some ways it wasn't, working with writers that are just bitter. They're
oh, wow. It's not the worst. I try to stay positive. I try to avoid bitter people. It's like life's too short, right? Like, why be bitter? I don't know. So wait, you were also a WGA scribe, I read. What does that mean? What does a scribe do exactly? I should know what that means, but I forgot.
It's a writer.
But they call staffer. So scribe is what? Staffer? Is it?
No. A scribe is just, I'm a writer.
Okay. I thought it was like an actual job description title.
No. I better change that in the bio.
I was like, what is a scribe? Okay.
They have to question you on your bio. When you write these bios, and there is a lot, I've had a long career, is that you try to be a little clever and come up with other terminology for, like, I can never come up with a word for, like, I'm a veteran comedian, and then they think I was in the armed forces. So.
Sure. No, I'm constantly rewriting my bio and trying to edit. Yeah. Like market my, you got to, right? So, cause people don't know, they think they're like, what does that mean? Like, they get confused.
Yeah, they do that. Like, they wonder what a scribe is. But I've been a writer for years. Well, obviously we all write, but I entered the Writers Guild with a show on ABC a long time ago called Just the 10 of Us. And I wrote on that show, and I wrote an episode of it. I submitted this. The one thing I always want to get across to people, I do coaching as well, is we don't have any limits. There is no limit. That's why that resume or that bio is so large, because I just think of in the infinite. There's nothing that we can't do.
Absolutely. Yes.
So that's why there's so many things on there where people are like almost confused. I don't even want to be called a stand-up, because it is so much more. It's just bringing this creativity to the world, and however it manifests itself. I have a reality show on the air right now. I got a movie. I got so
cool. Wow.
So much stuff is going on. I don't stop. I have a whole staff of people.
I'm kind of the same way. We're both Scorpios. It's our Scorpio birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. I'm sure we're not born the same year. So I'm guessing on that. How long have you been at the business?
I started acting. I took my first acting class in college, so that was like my dream. It still is, to be an actor. And then I got into stand up, I guess 10 years now, 10, 11 years. So I've been doing stand up comedy, and then of course writing from that, also producing, directing as well.
Yeah. Where did you start? What comedy club?
Kind of do it all. I guess I got passed at Flappers. I started doing open mics and got passed right away. And I was at the Comedy Store, and then I went to New York for a year, did a lot of open mics there, did all the clubs. I've been at all the clubs except for Comedy Cellar. That's my dream, to do the Cellar, but I've pretty much performed everywhere at this point. And then kind of on the road a little bit. So that was, opening for Bonnie McFarlane, who I'm sure you know. She's very, very funny, good writer.
I go way back with Rich Voss as well, back to the 80s with her husband, and Bonnie wrote on a show I hosted actually on VH1 called My Generation. She was a writer on that with Stephanie Wilder, and
like you were not super famous, but it's like people know who I am, but they don't, because it's like I'm not famous, and I want to be at this point. I'm like, sure, that'll be great, because I'm like, I've been on TV locally in LA. I've gotten offered to be on like major things, but it's like it hasn't happened yet, but I think it will eventually. It's just a matter of not. Someone said to me recently, wow, you haven't given up. And I'm like, why? Yeah, I haven't. Why would you give up? Like, they're like, you're still here. I'm like, I am still here.
Well, you want a little suggestion from the veteran comic?
Sure. Yes, please. That's also why I want to get more information from you as a coach, and any advice.
I teach this stuff. One of the things is to let go of results, let go of outcome, have no outcome. I will tell you this, Jennifer, I want to share something with you. It's a strange story, but I won a couple Emmys, and I won the Comedian of the Year American Comedy Awards. And the previous winners were like Seinfeld and Ellen DeGeneres. It was a big award at the time. It was one of the loneliest nights of my life.
Oh, that's so interesting.
One of the loneliest nights of my life here. They give me a limousine. I'm alone. I didn't have a girlfriend or a wife or anything like that. I'm going, where do I go? I went to the Comedy Store, and they like laughed at me. They humiliated me because I carried my trophy in with me. It's like,
yeah, jealous.
So you have all these comics backstage and stuff, like kind of biting. And, I became the guy that year who's the hack and the thief and the ass.
No.
I became that. That's all the award got me. It didn't get me anywhere. It fed my ego for like 2 seconds. And then I realized awards
comes to tear you down. Is that, oh God.
Awards and success are they're just so fleeting anyway.
Yeah.
There's people that won an Oscar 5 years ago that can't get past the velvet rope anymore. They go, who are you? It's so trending. Everything's trending. So my suggestion is, based on experience, is we stay in the now, stay in the presence of what you do today, in the creativity that you're doing today, whatever it is. Like, I have a number of things going on right now, and that's what I'm writing. I'm concentrating on. This guy asked me for a budget for this film that he's buying. Okay.
I really do want an Oscar, though.
See, that fast you went to, I have to have an Oscar. The more
I've held an Emmy. I know what that's like. Hey,
look at your fist. You're making a fist.
I've held the Emmy. I mean, I know it's not. I get what you mean. You know, it's funny. I went to a Vanity Fair party and I was around just the most famous, richest, people at this party, and they a lot of them did look miserable, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? And they just never seemed. They all kind of looked at each other. It's like they're always trying to do. It was never good enough for them, and they always had to achieve more and more. And I was just like, what the hell? So that
what's next? It's what's next. And there will be that what's next in you until we are serene and happy with ourselves, the way things are in this moment. Right now, all we have is you and me talking on here. That's all we have. We don't have anything else. Now I have a lot of things going on in the other room. I have 6 people here that are working on some different projects and things.
You're like a Kardashian. You live in Calabasas. That's what the Kardashians do. You're like a
I'm just like that. Actually, I go way back with Bruce Jenner, who's now Caitlyn Jenner. And it's such a weird transition for me. I still have my package, but it's a transition for me to be able to say Caitlyn, first of all. And I saw her at a golf course. We used to golf a lot together. And I said, bro, about 5 times. Hey, come on, bro. We're going to go golf. Right, bro? And then people get mad. Like the pronoun police are like,
yeah. I just
changes their name. It's hard to do.
Yeah, I call everyone dude. I just called a transgender a dude, but I think they knew I was just like, I didn't mean it like that. I hope so. I mean, God.
It's just a term. People need to lighten up. There are much more important things in the world than to worry about me having a slip on terminology because I didn't memorize. Look, my friend Kathy Breen is now Kathleen. I have a hard time calling her Kathleen. I'm so used to the other. If you have a meme inside of you and that's what's in there, it's not like you're a phobe or an ist. They can't wait to put that tag on you. No,
I mean, I think people just want to it's such an interesting time we're in. With like cancel culture and, I went viral on Twitter. I think you were there for like a joke I wrote that people didn't even understand. And like, it was insane. So I don't know. I kind of like the negative attention though too. I liked just the attention in general. I'm like, I would be okay with it, honestly. Like,
Jennifer, I want you to be one of my clients. I have to work on you. We've got some.
Like you need help. I've been through so much recovery though in life. Like I've been sober for most of my life. So
well, that's great. Yeah, we got some work to do on you.
What?
I got some. Maybe that's the destiny of this podcast.
I just think that you're famous. People give you like shows. You have money. I mean, it's just nice to be famous. I don't know. As a comedian, I see it. What do
you think? Why don't you ask? Why don't you ask someone who's famous? I've had my deal of fame. I've had a lot of stuff, and I'm going to let you know that's not my happiness.
You don't like it? It is for me. But okay, so it's not.
I don't like it. I'm not saying it.
Okay.
Our advantages are really cool, like little stupid pieces of advantage.
Right.
But I'm letting you know. Trust me on this. If you can hear anything today. That it's not what they say that it is. Jim Carrey talks about this, and he's
it's true. I know. Yeah, I know.
But if you know, then no. I mean, really, it's being in presence. It's being in the now. It's tapping into that great creator that's inside of us, that light that wishes to shine. Those are the great moments. Not seeking something. It's all trending. There are Oscar winners that are years ago that no one has ever even heard of today, and they've had that status.
I just want to be working more. I mean, that would be nice. So yeah, I aim for that. But you've had a great career. So you've been. It sounds like you've been through it all. Like you've had ups and downs, and so because I was thinking, I was like, God, he's done it for so long. I'm sure you've had so many experiences of just the ups and downs with it.
Yes. Every up is something to not be believed, and every down is not to be believed. If I put my belief in that, then I will stay in those conditions. It's just...
I get what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from outside. So just focus on internal and not worry is kind of what you're saying. The outside, I understand that.
Yeah, the outside's an illusion.
I gotcha.
And it's so temporary. And now in our society, the scrolling world that we live in, my God. And we're so self-obsessed these days. And I was talking about this the other day. I said, my hard drive space is only so big. And now lately it's something completely valueless goes in, and then something valuable has to leave to make room for what you had for dessert that day, So a guy comes up to the restaurant, he goes, "My name is Cade. I'll be your waiter." I'm going, "Do I have to memorize your name? You just replaced my social security number. Don't tell me the specials. I'll lose my Gmail password. I only have so much in here." And everybody's so bombarding us with their self-obsession as opposed to how we can unify. And that's why I believe in the unity of laughter. That's the purpose of bringing, not to me to be my ego to be fed, because that's endless. That's an endless appetite. It's a buffet that will never end. But if I can just keep on staying in purpose and be guided, and then to the next thing and to the next thing and the next thing, like I have shows this weekend in Detroit, and then it'll be packed out with people. And
watched your stuff. It's very clever. You have a lot of clever jokes, and I can see why you're a TV writer. You also write very clever. And how do you I guess, what is your writing process? How do you write jokes? Kind of how do you?
You know what I tell people, and when I coach, I say repetition causes intuition. So if you repeat, then you have an intuitive sense on where a joke comes from. It happens naturally, organically. I call it genuine energy flow. So it comes out of you. And
I love that genuine energy flow. I love that.
Thank you. That's something that I teach, is that you're in genuine who you are, who you're born as. Because the other stuff, by the way, comes at you. You're born love, light, and levity. That's where we're born. We're happy and we're serene. We're just, this is great. We're in the light. And then they start going, no, this is the way you're going to do it. You're comply with my wishes. You're going to memorize 1492 Columbus sailed the ocean blue. And then that got changed. Anyway, it's all what they program us with. So my deal is this: deprogram by working a program of reconditioning those thoughts. And I've got a step-by-step process of doing that. So once you free yourself of that, then the words come out and the jokes come out, because we all have the instinct on that from the repetition. So that's the writing process for me, is like, okay, I've got something where I'll go, okay, what makes me unique, right? Now, tell me something about you that makes you unique. Like just give me a nugget of a unique thing in your life.
I jumped out of a perfectly good airplane before.
Okay, perfectly. As opposed to, I jumped out of an airplane that wasn't perfect. It had a door that was missing, and I jumped anyway. Anyway, so you have been skydiving. Did you go by yourself?
I went tandem, and I'll never do it again. It was very terrifying. It was a great experience, but never again.
Funny, my son just asked me. I think I'm going to take him next week. That makes you unique. So Jennifer, the point I'm making is, if you list the things that make you unique, that's what people remember. They don't remember your jokes. They remember something about you. So I will never forget that you were tied to somebody and jumped out of a plane, went a few thousand feet down to the ground, and that you'll never do it again. I'm not going to forget that. So that's my memory of you. That's what we do. We create these things for people, these experiences we have, we share them, and then they connect with them. And then, of course, there's the art of writing. There's only 13 forms of jokes or whatever it is. And then that's what we bring to the people, but it's our uniqueness. It's who we are and our experiences they're going to remember.
So you talk a lot about yourself. Is that in your comedy, or?
Everything that's experienced, because they can't deny it. I went through a phase where they said he's a thief, he's a hack, and stuff like that. And the only way to get
it. When? Who said that about you?
I mean, whatever. People talk bad. I've even seen you talk about people who talk bad. You know what I mean? I've watched.
Yeah.
I've watched you grouse about that. So the way around that is they can never say that. First of all, I hardly watch comedians. I have one opener. I have one opener I tour with. It depends who it is, and they do a few minutes, and then I do an hour and a half show. So I don't have to ever think that I was influenced by anyone. It's only me. And so,
I see what you're saying. Oh, that's a good. So nobody can be like, you took my joke, or like
exactly.
That makes sense.
If I share my experience, not my opinion, also they can't even be angry with me, because I go, no, that's my experience. Like I was talking about Caitlyn Jenner, right? So I could say, hey, you people with your pronouns, you people, I could do that. Or I could say, yeah, it's really hard because my friend Bruce is now Caitlyn. And you see what I'm saying? That they can't deny. Even me being awkward or saying bro and all that story that I just told you earlier, that's the type of thing that goes into comedy. It's because it's based on my experience, not my opinion. And to me, then no one can deny you. They can't say you took that from, no, it's my life. Only my mom belly danced at my high school graduation party. And if anybody else does that bit, they stole it. So,
right. Yeah, I like that. I never thought about that. I guess it's I wrote about a personal experience, and it was still stolen from me. So what are you going to do? But,
well,
what are you going to do?
I guess they can, but in the long run, whoever does that, it never lasts. It just doesn't last. They can't sustain it because they're always caught.
Yeah.
You can't sustain it. I'm really lucky I have a sustained career from the integrity, from this process, from sharing experience, from reconditioning my old thoughts, all of those things. It's a really long career. Never made it famous. Who cares?
But did you ever want to be famous? Sounds like you really did. Oh, you did?
Yeah, absolutely. Really? I told you when I won that Comedian of the Year, I only wanted that. I was like, and by the way, I got nailed on that for campaigning. I put a sign in my apartment building, vote for me, and they ripped it down and sent it to this bitter comic. And then he came after me. He's campaigning. You know how comics are.
Yeah.
The bottom line is you're never going to appeal to the comics. There's going to be some jealousy. There's going to be some,
There always seems to be. I mean, everyone always talks about the success. I mean, it always happens. So, I mean, it's almost like, yeah, it's a weird thing. It's tricky to know who your real friends are and then who your like two-faced friends are. And yeah.
Yeah, it's that way. Life is that way anyway. I'm very lucky. I hang out with my friends from kindergarten back in Philadelphia, 3rd grade. My best friend is from 11 years old. Just heard from him today. And I stay connected to the people that I connect with, the people I resonate with and who don't have these agendas that take me down. And by the way, I have family members that want to take me down.
I mean, look what people do to Matt Rife now, and I've known Matt for a while. It's like, it's yeah.
He's the latest target.
He's the latest target. He really is.
As soon as I saw him take off, I went, oh my God, they're gonna go after him. He's really good looking.
Yeah, I don't think he cares. I mean, I get it. Like,
I'll bet he does. I mean, they used to go after me like that. I was, pretty decent looking, I mean, and I was that guy for a while. And then of course, people that aren't as good looking or whatever, they go after you. Who leans into it? I really like one of my new favorite comedians.
My camera's like messing. Okay, there we go. Anyway, who do you like?
One of my new favorite comedians who really, he kind of like addresses that he's really good looking.
Okay.
Jeff Dye.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, he's a great comic.
He's a great comic, but I just like his personality, and he really brings it to the stage, his honesty. And I think he even like leans in on, hey, I'm good looking, and I could never do that. Oh my God. I can have somebody else go, hey, you're cute or whatever. And I'll go, oh, thank you. But I couldn't walk up. And Matt Rife has that energy too. Is like, hey, baby, here it is. I think he even poses without his shirt on. Bert Kreischer does it for another reason. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I couldn't even imagine that. It's just not in my realm of thinking to have that kind of confidence on the physical appearance. I can have confidence in the other. Pretty easy, from the hard work that it takes to have, the intelligence. We all have this divine intelligence, but let's tap into it. How are you going to tap into that divine intelligence, who we truly are, genuine energy flow? How do you tap into that? That's where the special secret sauce is, not in a joke.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes. I try to write every day, at least a joke a day. And I started, I think I took like a little break. I was in a car accident and I kind of took a break for like a month, but, yeah, I love writing. I love creating. It's like, it's my favorite.
Can I ask you this? Do you do any sort of personal journaling of, just experiences that you're having or thoughts that you're having have nothing to do with the outcome of the joke? Because to me, the greatest jokes come out of that root. It comes from the root of discovery, and then the joke comes, not the joke first, because then it's really, really organic and in flow. If you're going,
like, I don't have like a diary or anything. No, not really.
Well, my suggestion is, not that you're asking for it, is start to get to know yourself by writing little notes.
I know myself pretty well. Yeah.
Then you're at the top. Then you have nowhere to go.
I want to be. Yeah. That's the goal.
That's one of the things, is be open to more discovery, and keep staying in.
I want to, honestly, I've written a lot about myself. I know a lot about myself, but I want to write more. You know what I want to do? I want to do kind of more of like what Seinfeld, because people like kind of also that observational, or what everyone experiences, because I don't want to be up there like me. I want to actually write more about experiences everyone has. So that's a goal I'm kind of working on, is developing my own material to do more of that.
Well,
that's me, so
it's still getting to know. Larry David wrote that show. Much of the show is Larry David, but it's him. And he goes and does a show that I never thought would succeed. And now it turns out it's one of the most brilliant shows on television, because he's organic and he's genuine. He's himself. He's a lovable,
He's funny. I've seen him around. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm talking about what he brings to those shows is him. He writes down all of that. Those are all his quirks, all of his annoyances. He brings that. And that's what I'm saying is like writing down those things. The jokes evolve from that. He's not writing any jokes on that show. He writes scenes that have angst to them, anxiety. They've got his neuroses, and that's how he writes the scenes. And then they're ad-libbed. I don't know if you knew that.
Like ranting.
He doesn't work from a script. Works from something, an emotion that he has.
Absolutely. Emotion, I think, is important. I want to rant more on stage. Maybe I'll do some of that Friday of a show. I'm going to kind of work on that and do more crowd work. So it's a whole journey of exploration. So.
Yes, it is. And and it ends up on a stage. But I tell people all the time, people that study with me, I'd say, a lot of them aren't even comics. I have comics, but I also have, I was just with Chappelle last week and at his house in Ohio. And he started with me. He opened it for me at 15 years old. That was his first gig. We talk about that a lot. And the one thing about this guy is it's not about his jokes. He really knows who he is. He knows his voice. And to develop that voice does take a repetition, which causes that intuition of who you are. And that's what I'm saying is it's not about the outcome of the joke or about the stage or about the gig. So many comics are focused. It becomes pure focused on these things where we're missing our own discovery.
Right. I think it's too now it's too look at me online. Like, here's my 5-second clip that sucks. Like, look how many views. I don't know. It's it's not what it used to be. But, it's interesting how the industry changes and evolves. And I think it's actually good that people can self-produce now and get their, material out there for the world to see. And I think the cream in that way will rise. So I think it's an exciting time to be an artist.
Well, part of that has to do with talk about genuine energy flow. Hollywood, if I may, if you're going to label them, they're not original. They work out of fear. They work out of copying because they're afraid of being caught with a smoking gun, taking a chance. You can't even get meetings now, pitch meetings, because now they're also inorganic. We have a diversity mandate. Now, here's where it comes in. If you're watching television, you're in the Midwest, right? And here it is. They choose your menu. The Hollywood does. You're sitting there going, this is ridiculous. This would never happen. Like, they have parties with, okay, it's so obvious that it's a casting call of people that never be in the same room in real life. And people want to see real life. Oh, let's bring in the Asian gay couple. Okay, let's, and it's just for
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
not real. It's not real. And
right.
they're going to get
Although I have a lot of cousins that are gay. I have cousins that are gay in Texas. I think it's more, but I get what you're saying. It's
having a cousin who's gay means nothing of what I'm talking about. It means nothing. It has nothing. What I'm talking about is
I mean in the Midwest or Nebraska. That's my point. Like, there's
anywhere in the world, even in Hollywood. If you smell a rat, if you smell something phony, which is what Hollywood has done, is because it's about mandates. That's phony. It's about diversity. That's phony. Unless it really comes from you, unless it's true. If there's something on the screen that is diverse and you know that it's true or it really happens in real life or something like that, then people will connect with it. They don't connect with these things. That's why trends go away, because they're not real. There's nothing sustainable about it. It's not scalable. Yes, you can be popular like this and you watch how fast you go down because they have no depth. There's no depth to these decisions. Hollywood makes decisions. It's based on Tinseltown. It's about the shine, the glitz, what it looks like, how cool they are, what party they're going to, what suit they're wearing, what car they're driving, and it's all outside stuff. They don't have the insides for something to work. That's wonder why Hollywood is failing? That's the reason. It's inorganic. It's not true.
Gotcha.
Comedy is at its best when it's true. Come up with Dave Chappelle, who's one of the most successful, Chris Rock, one of the most successful, Bill Burr. Those are the three, right? That's Mount Rushmore. All of them completely real. They're completely real. They know who they are. They know their voice, and they tap into that voice. Not about their jokes. A lot of jokes you couldn't even memorize, but it's their take on life.
Sure.
And that's where they've gone beyond Hollywood. Hollywood would never cast them except for they make money. That's Hollywood.
Right.
Oh, that makes money. They're all going to get caught. They're all, because it already is happening. These television shows have no ratings.
Yeah. There's some good shows. I mean, I think a lot of stand-up comedians are good writers. If they put a comic, the shows seems to be better. That's what I think. But
Worse, of course.
It's better. Yeah.
We know what the country wants. That's why they hired me at Fuller House, and David as well. We know what the country wants. We are out there. They're not. They were in a mailroom at William Morris. They worked their way up, and now they sit there and go, "Oh, this isn't trending, and here's the algorithms, and we don't have enough diversity. We got to go get diversity, even though it has nothing to do with, like some of these things that they just force it.
Gosh, yeah.
Just force it.
To work,
just for the sake of the mandate or virtue signaling, I'm going to look so good. It's not real. And this isn't me being prejudiced or racist or ist or phobe or anything like that. I'm letting them know I've been in the country and I can tell you they just want truth. And if the truth is that these people wouldn't be in the same room, or if you're miscasting someone just for diversity's sake, then you're already shooting yourself in the foot.
On that note, I want to ask you, so yeah, I think people do want truth now more than ever, and it's going towards that more truth. What do you think though about the comedy, trend that's happening where people are so honest, where it's like not funny, where it's like people are you're crying on stage, or it's like this is true, and but it's like almost like a TED talk. Do you know what I mean? Or it's like it is like a diary. I'm seeing that a lot, and I'm wondering why is that happening? I like it, but something about it bothers me too. It's like I don't know. It's not really, to me. It's not funny, so it's like it makes you feel, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's different styles. I mean, Tig Notaro did a whole thing. She made it because she went up and said, "I have cancer." You know what I mean?
And she made it funny. She did. I thought. You know what I mean? At least make it funny. If you're gonna do that, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's different styles and stuff, but I mean, the reason she made it though, that she was just honest. That's not something that there's an algorithm that says talk about cancer.
Right.
Out there, but all of a sudden. People were like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to pay attention to her." This is somebody who was already talented, but that breakthrough happened when she got really, really honest. All of those comedians that have made it, they hit a point where they went, "I'm just going to," like Bert Kreischer takes his shirt off now. It's like, I might as well show you this fat belly instead of hiding it. I still hide mine, so maybe that's
vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable. Yeah,
be vulnerable and honest, and let people into your soul, and they'll connect or they won't. And there are people that can't connect with it. We're never going to please everyone. The trending is trending. It doesn't make it real.
Right. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you, Craig, for being on my podcast. I learned a lot. It was nice chatting with you.
You too.
And I look forward to seeing what else you're doing soon. And maybe we'll be in the same writing room someday soon.
Just remember that I chose to spend my birthday with a stranger here.
I know. Thank you so much. It's amazing. All right. Have a great birthday.
Go keep rocking it out there. Okay, all right, Scorpio.
All right. Okay. All right. Bye.
I know that this will never go wrong.